deeply connects with her clients, and therapeutic science tool belt is filled with a variety of healing modalities. She helps her clients of psychopaths heal from the effects of post-traumatic stress disorder associated with the pain and loss suffered from psychopathic encounters. So here's Wendy Lynn Johnson with PTSD recovery.
Thank you, David. Welcome, everybody. I'm Wendy Johnson, and this morning I'm going to talk to you guys about PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, if you don't know what PTSD stands for. But I'm assuming most all of you do since you're here. So PTSD is an anxiety disorder that keeps a person preoccupied with both the past and the future. Flashbacks, intrusive thoughts, or events. You can either experience the event, or you can even just witness the event. In some more rare cases, just by learning of the terrifying event can cause post-traumatic stress disorder. That's in a rare case. So according to doctors, PTSD is likely a combination of complex mixture of stressful and traumatic experiences that you've gone through in your life. This could include inherited mental health issues such as family history of depression or anxiety. It could also include your personality or your temperament. It could, the way your brain regulates the chemicals and the hormones and your body releases in relation to the stress that you have perceived or the trauma that you've gone through. This may also include the amount as well as the severity of the trauma and stressful experience that you have gone through in your life. So now let's talk about some of the symptoms. PTSD. People with PTSD are struggling. They're severely struggling, and they're very sincerely struggling. PTSD is an anxiety disorder that keeps a person preoccupied with both the past and the future. And again, with flashbacks, intrusive thoughts of the event. Nightmares. Your mind becomes a continuous circular pattern thinking about this trauma. Emotional numbness and avoidance of places and people and activities that are reminders of that trauma. Increased arousal such as difficulty sleeping or concentrating, feeling jumpy, edgy, being easily irritated or angered, constantly alert or on guard, panic attacks, feelings of intense fear. So what might put a person at a higher risk? People of any age can develop post-traumatic stress disorder. However, some circumstances may make you more likely to develop PTSD after the traumatic event. Some of the most common events leading to PTSD are childhood physical or sexual abuse, combat exposure, such as being in the military or being like a firefighter or a job such as that. Physical assault, an accident, being in some sort of car accident, sexual violence. A commonly asked question is, can youth or children have PTSD? PTSD in children is brought on by disturbing events or traumatic events as well. Symptoms in children may include detachment, difficulty sleeping, nightmares, irritability, dreaming about the event. They may not necessarily look at it as a nightmare. Reenacting the traumatic event during playtime. And while all children that are exposed to a traumatic event are expected to be upset, and such events could be witnessing or being a victim of sexual abuse or violence, natural disaster, even an accident, as well as extreme neglect. However, children with PTSD do not bounce back, not near as easily. They tend to develop a pattern of behaviors such as lots of dreaming about the event and play reenactment. I personally have experience with that. I ran a childcare for over 20 years. So I have actually dealt with and seen children that do reenact quite vividly different traumatic situations that they've been in. They have difficulty sleeping and irritability, as well as detachment. So, how quickly do signs or symptoms show up? PTSD can develop very quickly, or even months after the event. It can seem oddly disconnected from the event. This is in adults as well as in children. PTSD-like symptoms are common amongst children and adolescents that have been exposed to trauma. However, the disorder is actually very rare in younger children. So let's talk about some complications of PTSD. PTSD can disrupt your entire life. Your entire life. It can affect your job, your everyday enjoyments, your relationships with your family, with your spouse, with your friends, and your loved ones. It can affect your health. The things that you once enjoyed, like your family and your kids and your job, maybe even just being outdoors, all of a sudden you can start just really not enjoying them. Someone with PTSD can continue to be depressed for months and even years without proper treatment. They can become even suicidal. The time frame can depend on many different things, like how long you were exposed to the trauma, what kind of trauma you were exposed to, what kind of support system you have to help you work your way through it. PTSD can also increase your risk of other mental health issues, such as the misuse of drugs and alcohol, or depression or anxiety, eating disorders, suicidal thoughts, or even actions. So if you have survived such trauma, what steps can you take to prevent the normal stress reactions from the trauma, such as not being able to stop thinking about the event, or the fear or the anxiety, or the guilt, or depression from developing into PTSD? You need to get timely help and support to prevent normal stress reactions from getting worse and developing into PTSD. What might this look like? Well, you could turn to family and friends who will listen and offer you comfort. You may want or need to seek out a mental health professional for counseling. Some people even need medication. Some people turn to their family-based community. I urge you not to do it alone and to seek some sort of help, and whatever that might look like for you. I am a life coach, and I can be found at wendyjohnsonslifecoaching.com. Life coaches have many tips and tools to assist you as well, and today you're in a room full of them. All of our presenters here today are available to you if you would like to approach any of them, and they will do their best to help point you in the right direction. So today I would like to share a couple of things with you. The first being a story of a young Navy man named Ryan Shannon. Ryan Shannon, one day he was docked with his ship for upgrades, and a fire broke out next door in a submarine. And Ryan rushed to help put it out. He helped pull out people to safety, lots of different people. And after this day, Ryan started noticing some changes within himself. At first, they were subtle, and then they became more and more. He noticed when he was at home in his apartment, anytime a fire truck would go by, he would jump up and run to the window. It was to the point where it was affecting his life with his children and his wife and his family. He said he had developed a weird subconscious fear that he would have to go and help rescue again. He called it hypervigilance. Be ready to go. Ryan sought medical attention and was diagnosed with PTSD. The symptoms persisted and worsened until he became suicidal. Ryan worked very closely with his medical team. However, he also found that listening to music made a big difference for him when he struggled. Ryan found a song, he had a particular song, that when he was struggling, he would put on these headphones and listen to it, and then he could stand up and go to the store, and he could then be with his family again. And he could go out in the backyard. He went as far as using the music to motivate him to begin to be able to exercise again and get back into his regular routine. The change was a noticeable one to him as well as his wife and his children. Ryan also had other health issues that actually ended up ending his military career. But yet he wanted to continue serving others. That is where the seed was planted for what is called musicrxfoundation.org. Ryan hopes others will find therapeutic value in music just as he did. And you can find Ryan Shannon's story on YouTube if you search music therapy for PTSD. So I would like to also introduce another technique that I love to use to help some of my clients. And this is called emotional freedom technique. Have any of you ever heard of this? It's one of my favorites. So I love to use it to release anxiety and stress, and it can also help with symptoms of PTSD. So emotional freedom technique, or often referred to as tapping, is based off of a Chinese medicine in which you tap on specific points on your body while talking about an issue of choice. So you may say it's a way of creating endorphins or pleasure chemicals in your body's energy system. The points are acupressure or stress relief points. And when you tap, you create a state of well-being in your body and your mind, and your issues are most often reduced or completely go away. So some of the tapping points, I'm just going to show you what they are the side of the hand, for those of you guys that don't know, above the eye, the side of the eye, under the nose, the chin, the collarbone, under the arm, and the top of the head. And then you start again and you recircle it and you start above the eye. So when we start, if you want to just follow my lead and repeat after me. But before we do this, I want you to take just a second and I want you to take a real deep breath in. And then I want you to let it out. Kind of just relax into your chair. Do it again. Just take a real deep breath in. And let it out. Relax into your chair. And then I want you to go within, and I want you to rate how you're feeling on a level of 1 to 10. And 10 being the most intense. And if you have a piece of paper, maybe just jot down the number of what you're feeling. So sometimes when you first start doing this, you feel kind of silly, tapping on your body, room full of people, right? Well, most of us do. Just hang in there. It does get easier, and we're all going to do it with you. So it also can bring up emotions. So if you start to feel emotional, just let it flow. This is a safe space. We're all here with you. So, and I also must disclose to you that I'm not a licensed therapist to treat. So if or when things come up for you, you take full responsibility for your own well-being if you choose to tap. I will not know that you need help. However, there's lots of us here. If when this is over, when we have a break, you have any questions, please feel free to come up and ask any of us, and we will help you, point you in the right direction if we're not equipped with what it takes to help you with what your needs are. So, let's tap. Y'all ready? Okay, so we're going to start on the hand, like this. And I just want you to repeat after me. Even though I feel anxious, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I feel anxious, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though I feel anxious, I would rather feel good. And even though I feel so anxious, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself and anyone else that may contribute to my anxiety. Okay, we're going to move to above the I. All this anxiety, all these anxious feelings, all these anxious behaviors, side of the I. All this anxiety, under the I. All these anxious feelings, under the nose. All this nervousness, chin. All these anxious behaviors, collarbone. All this anxiousness, under the arm. I choose to clear it. Top of the head, as much as I can. Above the eye. I choose to let go of this anxiety. Side of the eye. I choose to let go of all this nervousness. Under the eye. I choose to let go of all this discomfort. Under the nose. I feel so uncomfortable at times. Chin. I feel so uncomfortable in different situations. Collarbone. I just want to escape. Under the arm. It feels like it is too much for me. I just can't stand it. Above the eye. I am so anxious. Side of the eye. I am so uncomfortable. Under the eye. And I choose to release this feeling. I choose to release it at a cellular level. Chin. I choose to release it all the way back through my past. Collarbone. Back through all the times that I have been anxious. Under the arm. All those times when I just didn't know what to do with myself. Top of the head. I appreciate that part of me. Above the eye. That is trying to take care of me. Side of the eye. By telling me to run away. Under the eye. There is just some part of me. Under the nose. That doesn't feel safe. Chin. That feels like I am in a threatening or untrusted situation. Collarbone. And I just need to escape. Under the arm. So what is it that I'm afraid of? Top of the head. What am I so afraid of? Above the eye. Am I afraid of something happening? Side of the eye. Am I afraid of something could happen to me? Under the eye. Am I afraid of what that could be. Under the nose. What am I basing the fear on? Maybe, on the chin, maybe part of me says, oh, I have some really good stuff to base it on. Under the arm. I have some real evidence that I'm not safe. Whoops. Okay, sorry, I messed up, but that's okay. So we'll go collarbone. I have some real evidence that I'm not safe. I am choosing to go through that evidence. Above the eye. And clear whatever I can. Side of the eye. That doesn't mean that I will become stupid. Under the eye. That doesn't mean I will take stupid risks. Under the nose. I am just allowing myself. Chin. To clear up any misunderstandings. Collarbone. Maybe with some of these past events. Underarm. It wasn't nearly as threatening as I thought it was, or it felt. Top of the head. And maybe it was. Above the eye. However, I am not in the same kind of danger anymore. The side of the eye. Part of me is just being certain. Under the eye. And that is okay. Under the nose. I am not wrong or bad. I am just choosing to see. Collarbone. If I am unnecessarily depriving myself. Under the arm. I can change the situation. Top of my head. However I so choose. Above the eye. I choose to let go. Side of the eye. So I am letting go of this anxiety. Under the eye. I am letting go of this fear. Under the nose. Letting go of any past issues. Chin. I am letting go of any guilt or shame. Collarbone. I am letting go of all of this discomfort. Under the arm. I deserve to be here. Top of the head. I have the right to be here. Above the eye. I am an amazing person. Side of the eye. I am a gift to others. Under the eye. I choose to feel confident in sharing that gift. Under the nose. I choose to have the freedom to share that gift. The chin. It is safe to share that gift. Collarbone. I choose to feel comfortable and confident. Comfortable and confident. I choose to feel calm and confident. Top of the head, in body, mind, and spirit. Okay, I want you to take another deep breath in. And release it. One more time. And release it. Now I want you to go within, and I want you to check in with yourself and see where your anxiety is at on a scale of 1 to 10. Does anybody want to share their experience? Or what their numbers were?
I went from a 7 to 2.
That's great. From a 7 to a 2.
I went from a 9 to a 3.
Wow, that's great. Both of you. This is one of many alternative exercises that help with symptoms of PTSD that I just thought I would share with you today. Does anybody have any questions about it? Okay, well then we're going to go on to our next presenter, and that is Amy. And she's going to talk to us about codependency.